go to loweryourhbp.org.
In his 19th season as head coach, Gary Patterson leads the Frog Walk into Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. TCU's Jalen Reagor is getting ready for his junior season after 2018 was one of the most productive seasons ever for a wide receiver at TCU. The opponent tonight is Arkansas Pine-Bluff, led by quarterback Shannon Patrick, as they visit Fort Worth and TCU on Big 12 college football. It is a sight for sore eyes, a football field with fans and teams and everybody on it ready for the start of the season. Welcome to 2019 college football. Big 12 football features the TCU Horned Frogs tonight against the Arkansas Pine-Bluff Golden Lions. It's a pleasure to have you tuned in tonight with Brian Baldinger. I'm Mark Followell. The record for TCU in 2018 was 7-6, but that's in the rearview mirror now. The focus is 2019. Many changes, Brian, and a lot of those changes we'll see tonight at the quarterback position. There are many new faces. We know for sure early in the game we'll see two of them tonight.
Well, they had a quarterback competition this fall, between Alex Delton, a fifth-year senior transfer from Kansas State. He was the captain of Kansas State a year ago, along with Max Duggan, a true freshman out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. They both came in January. They've come through the spring and the summer. They had a battle. Delton won the competition. He's a fifth-year senior. He's got the leadership. He's got the experience. He's a great athlete. He can run with it. He's probably going to play behind the best offensive line he's ever played behind. But Max Duggan is a guy who's had a lot of good days in August. They're excited about what the future brings with Max Duggan.
What the present brings tonight for the Arkansas Pine-Bluff Golden Lions is still in the process of rebuilding. 2-9 last year, but that doesn't mean there weren't positives. Like the #1 running back in the SWAC last year, Brian, that is Taylor Porter.
And he is some dynamic player. I'm excited to watch him live tonight. I'm tired of watching him on tape just make people miss. He never goes out of bounds. He's hard to tackle. He's relentless. He's carried 38 times and a loss to Grambling last year. He's an Ironman, and the offense goes through Taylor Porter.
So his head coach, Cedric Thomas, told us in a conference call this week, in the era of one-bar face mask and leather helmets, he'd fit right in.
He would.
Fortunately, he doesn't have to wear those tonight. He is going to take the field, though, against a very good TCU defense, and that will be right after this. It's the kickoff of 2019 in Fort Worth, Texas, Amon G. Carter Stadium. TCU against Arkansas Pine-Bluff next on Big 12 College Football. Big 12 College Football on Fox Sports is brought to you by Ford. Visit your best in Texas Ford dealer today and see why Ford is America's best-selling brand. That was the scene. Oh, there is some good tailgating going on in Fort Worth, Texas. It was a nice day for it. Low 90s, probably a little cooler than that. You couldn't ask for anything better than August 31st and the start of football season. Gary Patterson and the TCU Horned Frogs getting ready to kick off against Arkansas Pine-Bluff. We say hello to Leslie McCaslin on the sideline. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, guys. Well, last season, Gary Patterson had a lot of guys injured, and this year he has a lot of young players on his roster. So no one knows quite what to expect from this year's team. But don't underestimate the Horned Frogs, because they were picked fourth in the Big 12 Media preseason poll, and the last two times they were picked fourth, well, they kind of upset everybody. In 2017, they played in the Big 12 championship game. In 2014, they won the Big 12 title. I talked to Gary Patterson about this before the game, and I asked them if his team was underrated this year. He said, well, I was hoping they'd pick us 8, Mark.
One thing that he told us yesterday, Brian, is if you're going to have a great year, 8 to 10 people who no one knows their names need to have a great year for the team to have a great year. And tonight is the first step to finding those 8 to 10 people.
It is. And, you know, we spent a nice day with Gary yesterday. I took his video test with his team last night, Mark. It's the longest running movie I've seen all year. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes of review. I felt like I watched every Pine-Bluff play from a year ago. He's got his team prepared, as he always does.
Well, the interesting thing about it is we'll see Pine-Bluff on offense and see how his defense prepared for the Golden Lion offense, because TCU won the toss, but they deferred their option, and they are going to kick off. And the man responsible for kicking off is Griffin Kell, with Kashawn Williams and Levonsky Williams. Deep to receive for the Arkansas Pine-Bluff Golden Lions. And here we go. Fielded at the 1-yard line. Oh, and what a hit! That is a welcome to Mr. Williams. Kashawn Williams is hit hard by Trevante Heights.
Well, Gary Patterson says kickoff coverage is what your defense is all about. You put your defense on the field. Trevante right there, unblocked, hit him in full speed. And he talked in a special teams meeting last night about having the Golden Lions start inside their 15, and here they are at the 12-yard line.
As a coach, it's a wonderful thing when a plan comes together. And the plan for the Arkansas Pine-Bluff Golden Lions is not to start Shannon Patrick, but Skylar Perry, who threw for almost 1,800 yards last year. And he had an opportunity for yardage on the first play of the game, but he sends a pass upstairs a little bit too high for transfer Harry Ballard.
Harry Ballard from Missouri, a guy that they say runs a 4.440. That's fast for all you people that want to talk about decimal points, and the ball went right through his hands.
Head coach Cedric Thomas of Arkansas Pine-Bluff told us this week we might have been one of the slowest teams in not just FCS but football period last year. Players like Ballard will help that team speed. Right now it's a running play to the right side as the first positive yardage of the game, as it's carried by Taylor Porter over the 15 to the 16 for a gain of 4.
As the Golden Lions line up, they've got some size up front. Their right guard, Jordan Mack, is a 365-pound freshman. He can move too. They got a junior college transfer from New York, Bradley Burrow, and a good left tackle up there, Mark Evans.
The top returning tackler for TCU's defense, Garrett Wallow, made the tackle on second down. On third down, it's a design quarterback run, and Skylar Perry has a first down to the 25-yard line.
He's going to do a good job of just faking the pass and runs right behind that right guard I talked about, Jordan Mack, who sealed off the defensive tackle in place, Corey Bentley, to get that play. Corey Bentley, I'm sorry.
3 plays and a first down for the Golden Lions. 2-9 their record in 2018. Play fake, inside throw, and it is incomplete. Trayvon Merrick on the coverage with Tyron Ralph, the intended receiver.
The strength of this TCU defense. The ball went right through his hands. Another good throw that time by Perry. But the strength of this TCU defense is right in the middle. Ross Blacklock, number 90, back from an Achilles tear, along with Bethley inside. These are two of the best tandem of tackles, not just in the Big 12, but I think in college football.
Notable for a guy like Corey Bethley to have 5 sacks as an interior defensive lineman, which is what he had last year. After the incompletion, second down and 10. There's motion, and it's handed off in motion. It's sweeping around the right side for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. Pick up to the 28, 29-yard line.
That's O'Shawn Mathis, who just made the tackle. They're young at defensive end. They had 2 defensive ends drafted in the first and second round, L.J. Collier and Ben Bonagoo. And so right now, O'Shawn Mathis is starting at one end, and a transfer, Shamik Blackshear from South Carolina, is starting at the other. But they're high on Mathis, number 32.
Collier went to the Seahawks in the first round. Bonagoo went to the Colts in the second round. They have converted 1 third down. Pine-Bluff has another one that they look to convert here. And it's a throw by Perry, and coming back to the ball and catching it for a first down. That's Tyron Ralph.
Well, you said it. You know, Tyron Ralph came back to the football. You're going to see him on the outside here. That's what he did. He came back in front of the safety on the play, Vernon Scott, to make that catch. He didn't wait for the ball to come to him where Scott can make the play. So just the little things, the fundamentals of coming back to the football. There's 2 first downs here for Pine-Bluff, you know, in this opening series. Got a left-handed center in there. Jaden Glover, don't see that very often.
from Key West, Florida, a senior. Oh, and up the middle for Keshawn Williams. Back on the field for Arkansas, Pine-Bluff in 2018. He was injured. He ran for over 700 yards in 2017. And a big burst up the middle here, Baldy.
Oh, yeah, big hole. Big hole that time behind Tondre Smith, the left guard.
And no huddle, so a quick snap. Perry, as this ball is snapped in TCU territory, throws deep and incomplete against freshman corner Keon Stewart, who is starting because of a little knock picked up in practice this week for Julius Lewis. They were looking for Harry Ballard.
Well, they wanted the height advantage. Ballard stands about 6'4", and really Perry did a good job of putting enough air under the ball. I mean, you can call interference on that if you want. I mean, he was all over on the play. Keon Stewart. Freshman getting tested right away. But good protection up front that time for Skylar Perry.
It's the third incomplete pass on first down that's occurred on this drive for the Golden Lions. Perry faked the handoff and pressure into the backfield on a sack for O'Shawn Mathis.
Well, O'Shawn Mathis on the play. Here he is. I mean, he's unblocked on the play. You should have given the ball to Porter on that time. It was a bad read that time, I think, by Perry. I guess that was Williams in the backfield. So third and long here for the first time. We'll see if Gary Patterson dials up a blitz here. I think one of the problems that Pine-Bluff had a year ago was picking up blitzes. See if Gary Patterson sends one on third and long here.
Brian, they had 35 sacks TCU last year, second most in the Big 12. Just registered their first one in 2019. Pressure looking for their second. Skylar Perry steps up. The lefty throws. It's bounced up into the air, and it's intercepted on the deflection. An interception for TCU, Ardarius Washington.
Off the tip ball. And that ball was in the air for a long time, and the redshirt freshman, Washington, came down with it. Just a three-man rush. Perry gets outside the pocket, tried to fit that ball in. Good job by Keon Stewart of tipping it to another freshman, Washington.
How about Keon Stewart's first series defensively, Brian? Broke up a long pass play and had a hand in an interception.
Well, Julius Lewis, the senior, not starting tonight, so they give the start to the freshman. And he stepped up. He defended a pass down the field earlier in that series, and then tipped that ball up, led to the interception.
After they were a -5 in turnovers last year, TCU a +1 in the game. They take over, 11:18 left in the first quarter, and here it is, the first chance to see Alex Delton on the field at quarterback for the Frogs, and he throws a bullet to the left side to the player who made the tackle on special teams in the opening kickoff, Trevante Heights, and he maneuvers upfield for two.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to get your quarterback into a rhythm. Just give him an easy completion here. Sonny Cumbie has worked with these type of players before. That's how you try to get him into a rhythm.
He'll fake the handoff, and he's a very good runner at quarterback. And Alex Delton, quarterback run game, a big part of the Kansas State offense, and he takes it for a first down.
You know, he only started 6 games in 4 years at Kansas State, but he played in a lot of games. And he's a true dual threat guy. He does a good job of reading the defense, knowing when to hand it off and when to keep it like he just did.
Ran for 8 yards there in his time at Kansas State. 868 rushing yards in 20 games. Grad transfer, Alex Delton. Again, keeping it. And he has an alley to the outside. He bumped into his own man, Heights. And then he's pushed out of bounds inside the Golden Lions 35-yard line.
Now just watch the read that Delton is making right here. I mean, he's just reading this crash right here. And crashes, and he just keeps it. I mean, it's the right read. But somebody has to keep the quarterback. And so, Cedric Thomas right now has got to get that straightened out on the sideline.
After an Ardarius Washington interception, TCU's driven from their own 46 to the Arkansas Pine-Bluff 34 as we go under 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. Now Delton to throw the ball, and he throws it to the right side, and it's caught, and turning inside is Jalen Rager, and fighting off tackles, and it's Rager for a first down near the 20. Ultimately brought down by Martavius Washington for the Golden Lions.
Yeah, Rager's on the outside. He's just running a stop route. And they're working on Martavius Washington. But the protection, they came with a blitz right here, right up the middle, and they picked it up well.
Now a run up the middle. Darius Anderson inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. with Blake Connor. Number 14 there for the Golden Lions making the tackle. You know, one thing Sonny Cumbie told us about Alex Delton and running the ball, he ran it effectively at Kansas State, but in this offense, there will be more running lanes for him, Brian.
Well, the receivers are so much better, and I think the offensive line is better than what he had at Kansas State. The receivers will take a lot of those defensive backs away from the line of scrimmage.
About 4 for Darius Anderson on that run, and he'll have another chance to tilt the ball. And he stutter steps, and he cuts, and he starts his way down to the 10. First down, Horned Frogs.
Well, he's called the Jet. And, you know, usually when you get the nickname of the Jet, it means you're fast. And Darius Anderson he's always been fast. He's been banged up a little bit, and he's missed some games, missed the last 2 games from a year ago. But they have a running back by committee. You'll see maybe as many as 5 of them play tonight. Sonny Cumbie, the offensive coordinator.
Been at TCU since 2014. You know, one thing Darius Anderson does well is pick up yards in bunches in his TCU career, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. He took that down to the 10, and then before having another chance to carry the ball, Arkansas Pine-Bluff calls a timeout in a scoreless first quarter with 8:45 to go. It's time now for the Shiner Box Spotlight, and Brian, the spotlight is on the talented TCU wide receiver, Jalen Reagor.
Well, for good reason. He is a dynamic player as a returner and a receiver. He's a great kid. And they probably overused him last year. They probably might not have as many catches this year because I think they've got more balance at the receiver position. I think they're better off at the quarterback position.
Reagor is in motion right now. He had 72 receptions last year, the second most in a season in TCU football history. Will they look for him? They will. There's a catch, his second one of the year. He turns it inside, and he's upended at the 6-yard line.
That's a jailbreak screen. He won the game against Baylor on that play a year ago. Delton right here looking one way, then coming back, getting his line out in front. A couple linemen picking off some Golden Lions down the field. Jalen Reagor is more than capable of scoring just about any time he touches the ball from anywhere on the field.
9 touchdowns last year, including a TCU record where he had 1 in 7 straight games.
Here he is up at the top.
Josh Dotson in 2015, the only statistical receiving season at TCU better than Jalen Reagor last year. And they call Reagor's number again, and he fights off coverage. And on 3rd down and goal to go, Martavius Washington breaks up a pass in the end zone on 2nd down and goal.
That's a good play by Washington. Got his hands on him at the right time, and not a perfect throw by Delton, although Reagor tried to really adjust to it.
Yeah, it's 3rd down now. Yep. That was 2nd down.
That was just second. Always got to be accounting for Delton as a runner here. Any kind of an option play. Darius Anderson, the running back, just to his left.
Martavius Washington, the junior from Collins, Mississippi. The pass breakup a moment ago. Now a bullet throw, and it's behind Heights. He's covered by Sean Steele, who is from the area, from Arlington High School. Right. 6 pass breakups, 2 picks for Sean Steele last year, and he keeps TCU out of the end zone here.
There's a great break on the ball this time by Steele. The ball was behind Heights, and that was the knock on Alex Delton. Was just the accuracy, pinpoint accuracy. Did have Darius Anderson in the flat to the other side, but that's a good series by the Golden Lions to keep the Frogs out of the end zone there.
Jonathan Song from All Saints Episcopal in Fort Worth was 9 for 12 on field goals last year, and he's 1 for 1 in 2019 as he bangs in a 23-yard field goal. That drive started with an interception. It stalls at the 6, but it's points on the board for TCU.
Being a part of After School All-Stars is a life changer.
Check out a little time lapse of the construction that's going on at Amon G. Carter Stadium. A $100 million renovation of the east side with ground broken, that is, in June 2018. Ready for the 2020 season. It will add 22 suites, over 1,000 club seats, and raise the capacity of this stadium to 47,000. They averaged 43,000 fans per game, and that is what it looks like as of August 31st, 2019.
And that $100 million, Mark, was in cash. They don't do bonds or loans. They just raise the money in cash.
It's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing. We got a quarterback in here, the freshman Max Duggan from Council Rock, Iowa.
Lewis Central High School in Council Bluffs, Iowa. The number 2 ranked player in Iowa coming out of high school, and his first snap will have to wait.
Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that won't be good for the new quarterback. The one thing about TCU last year, Brian, is they were amongst the fewest penalized teams in the nation. 4 penalties, 39 yards a game. Top 10 in FBS and best in the Big 12 when it came to penalties. Fewest penalty yards. Still waiting for the first pass of Mr. Duggan as Max Duggan will hand the ball off inside to Darius Anderson, and Colby Watts swallows him up after a short game.
Yeah, Watts is a returning inside starting linebacker.
Number 33 of Pine-Bluff. Sit out one play.
And he's a returning linebacker from the area, Brian DeSoto.
That's right. Yep. I mean, great program right down the road here from Fort Worth.
Now Duggan to throw, and it's high, but it's caught. Jalen Rager. Rager puts his foot in the ground, drives straight up the field, and is stopped just shy of the first down at the 49 of the Golden Lions, a yard away.
That ball comes out hot. I mean, that first throw of Max Duggan's career here at TCU, and Jalen Rager went up to get it, but he got there in a hurry.
Now it's 3rd down and 1, and it's underneath, and it's a block for Darius Anderson. First down and more. Eludes the tackle of Sean Steele, steps out of bounds at the Arkansas Pine-Bluff 32.
Well, 2 passes, 2 completions, and that ball just spins differently. I mean, he does have some arm. You can see it right away. One to Rager, one to Anderson. Why not put it into your best playmaker's hands?
He can sling it. Yeah. That is very apparent. 3:40 left of the first quarter. Horned Frogs in front, 3-0. Wow. Looking for 7, throwing, in zone, and it's overthrown for Rager.
It's an overthrow, but he is a confident thrower. You can see it right away. One thing we haven't seen yet is he is a great dual threat quarterback, too. Very much capable of pulling it down and running with it. There's pretty sticky coverage. There's an old veteran move right there.
Martavius Washington.
Yeah. Everson Walters used to do that for the Cowboys out of Grambling back in the day.
Grambling, one of the 4 SWAC opponents that TCU has played in a season opener now in the last 8 years. Darius Anderson running the ball, and a big collision at the 25-yard line. The collision involved Nigel of Canada from Mansfield, Louisiana. Safety.
So far, they're tackling better right now. It's early in this game. That's a good tackle right there. To go low on Darius Anderson and almost pick him up off his feet to take him down. Open field tackling has been crisp, and that's something that had to improve from a year ago.
The previous play is under review for targeting.
Well, we saw him drop his helmet. He was going as low as Darius Anderson was going. If there's a targeting call, it was certainly not intentional.
Let's take a look at the hit by Canada.
I mean, he's going low. He hits him on the side of the helmet. Well, you can see how low Anderson was going. He was just trying to get underneath him. It looked like he was going to his side. I mean, I know we're trying to clean up the game and make it safer, but I don't know how much lower Canada can go. When Anderson gets that low like that, I hope they don't actually call this a targeting, because there was no intent to it.
Nigel Canada, the player.
We've seen a couple different angles. What do you, I mean, Mark, you see this stuff. I mean, it doesn't look like.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, whenever a targeting is called on the field, as it wasn't in this case, it's going to be, there's going to be a higher level of scrutiny for it whenever targeting is called on the field and reviewed this year. Now, this was not a call on the field. Right. This was a decision, yes, to look at it. 3:01 to play in the first quarter. Steve Barron, the referee, taking a look at it.
Well, you know, the one thing about these looks on this call is Max Duggan has got a good drive going for TCU, and it just completely gets stalled. It gives the Golden Lions a chance to kind of regroup right now and maybe come up with a defense on 3rd down here. But there is a rhythm to this game. You have to allow it to happen. I thought that Canada did a good job of just trying to actually take his head out of the game. out of the play.
What did Cedric Thomas, the head coach for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, tell us about playing this game, as they've certainly had a nice first 12 minutes, Brian? We'll tell you more in a moment, but the call is coming now from Steve Barron.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. Third down.
Cedric Thomas said, we want these kind of opponents on the schedule, Brian. It's a great litmus for our future pros, and to let other kids know if you want to be an FBS or Power 5 football player, this is what big-time college football is all about.
Well, they just had a Pine Bluff player make the Cleveland Browns yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Scottish Hammer, their punter, the new punter of the Cleveland Browns, is an unbelievable story. We'll get to it later today, but yeah, there's a Pine Bluff Golden Lion in the NFL right now.
There was already New Orleans Saints Pro Bowl tackle, Teron Armstead.
Sure.
Pine Bluff has called their second time out of the half.
Okay.
The running play for Anderson was on second down. It went for 7 yards. It leaves TCU with 3rd and 3. We just had a review and no targeting call. 3:01 left of the first quarter, and time for a college football game break with Aaron Hardigan.
And Mark, I'm taking you to Arlington and Jerry World for Oregon-Auburn. Ducks flying high, already up 7-0. Justin Herbert, after a scramble, fires the prayer there to Spencer Webb. Oregon up 14-3 in the second right now, guys.
Wow. Well, not to take anything away from the Oregon-Auburn game that's happening right now, but Oregon-Auburn actually have a connection to right tackle Lucas Niang of TCU, because that's who TCU beat out to bring Niang from New Canaan, Connecticut, to be that mammoth right tackle that they might run this third down behind, Brian.
It'd be a good decision. I mean, he did not give up a sack last year in 13 games. He is a massive human being. The Horned Frogs have 6 offensive tackles in the NFL, the most of any college in the country.
If they run it, it will be Amari DiMercado, and they go left. Niang's the right tackle. They go left, and there's some pretty darn good blockers to run behind on that side as well, and they attain the first down with a 5-yard gain.
Nwagwu, the left guard, pretty good guy to run behind. Did a good job of sealing, opening up that lane.
And now a quick snap and a play fake and a throw, and Heights has another catch. He turns inside, he hangs on to the ball, and he's tackled near the first down marker. It would appear he's going to be a tad bit shy, a yard away.
Well, Steele's down.
Out for an injured player.
Let's see what happened to Sean Steele, who came up with the fumble recovery in the last series for Arkansas Pine Bluff. It might be a cramp. It doesn't appear to be in pain, but this kind of heat, he's down here at the bottom. Yeah, and then he goes down. He goes down to the ground after he makes the tackle. Walking off under his own power, which is a good thing. Doesn't appear to be in pain. I'm actually kind of jogging right now. You're going to see him coming to your picture. The tackle on Heights. Saved the touchdown right there. Good pursuit by everybody else to get there and keep him out of the end zone. But this Duggan, he's been impressive. Especially on the short and intermediate throws right now.
On this drive, he's thrown 3 out of 4 for 38 yards. That just gained 9. Next, Duggan handing it off. Amari DiMercado ran out of the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and the hole opens up to allow him to motor for the first down of the 6.
Well, the last time they were this close, they were held to a field goal. So we'll see if Emery DiMercado and Max Duggan can punch this one in for Gary Patterson in this first quarter.
DiMercado from Inglewood, California, a junior, 224 yards last year. Ball officially at the 7. Amari DiMercado, the back. Max Duggan, the quarterback. DiMercado again.
Well, they've run blitz that time. They anticipated that inside dive, and they filled quickly with the linebackers.
Seen a lot of Zion Farmer inside on this drive. Just saw big number 99, DeCarlo Hamilton at defensive tackle, 357 pounds.
You can't miss him.
No.
Lining up right over the right guard.
Second and goal to the 5. Duggan quickly throws it. It's caught, And leaning for the end zone, Artavius Lynn, the tight end. He's out of bounds. He's not inside the pylon.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good hit. Keep him out of there. Artavius Lynn, a huge tight end. 6'6", 265 pounds. Great hit this time by Colby Watts to keep him out.
And now on third down and goal at the 1-yard line. And second effort and in. The first college touchdown for Max Duggan, if it stands.
There was a flag thrown right at the snap by the side judge, or the line judge. I don't know if somebody lined up all sides. Yeah, looks like that.
Offside, defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, they didn't get on the field in time. That's what the call was. Good call.
Extra point. Jonathan Song, 10-0. That drive was engineered by true freshman Max Duggan, and he ends the drive with a 1-yard TD run, Brian.
Yeah, well, his first carry is a touchdown run, and he was a dual-threat quarterback, just a quarterback sneak right behind Iguagu. And he got, I mean, there was no doubt. Stopped initially, but then he kept the legs going, and he is a crafty player. Tough guy, and recruited by some of the biggest schools in the country. Ohio State, Notre Dame, they were all after him. But he had his father coached down here in Duncanville, Texas.
Yes, sir.
He's got some family members from around the area. Came down here in spring practice, him and his father, and watched the Gary Patterson practice, liked the way that they practice, how hard, and kind of fell in love with it.
His father coached him at Lewis Central High School in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Yeah.
That is, Sonny Cumbie told us yesterday, that's the litmus test. Do you still want to come here after you've watched a practice? He came, and he still wanted to come here and be part of TCU Horned Frog football, and he's part of it. He's in the record book. He's played, he's scored.
Well, he said that when he came to the practice, he actually stood behind the defense with his hands on his knees like he was a defensive back coach and watched every play as if he was a coach.
High kick by Griffin Kell. Keyshawn Williams. Run back. Caught it at the 2. Ran it over the 20-yard line. And for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, they'll start 22-yard line with 54 seconds left of the first.
Well, their opening drive, they actually moved the ball pretty well. Had a couple first downs. Then they had a ball tipped for an interception. They haven't been able to really get a rhythm back since then. We'll see if they can get Taylor Porter, the leading rusher in the SWAC from a year ago. See if they can get him loose here as he's in the backfield now.
There's Porter, and for the second time, Shannon Patrick will have a series at quarterback. Skylar Perry was the quarterback in the first 2 series for the Golden Lions. Let's see what happens to this first play, and I have something to share with you about Shannon Patrick.
Yeah.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
As they mark off the penalty. So, Brian, everybody has a story. And Shannon Patrick's he's from West Palm Beach, Florida. Then he went to Northland Community and Technical College to play JUCO ball in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Hold on a moment. As he gives the ball to Taylor Porter, and a gain of 2 or 3 before he spun down. So while playing in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, a long way from West Palm Beach, Florida, I would add, he set the NJCAA single-season record for pass attempts and completions, 358 of 589 in 2017.
Were they a passing team?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe the weather in Thief River Falls, Minnesota did not limit the passing game.
I know where Northland College is in Thief River Falls.
Oh, you are a map specialist if you know that. I am incredibly impressed.
I think one of my sisters played volleyball there for a year before she transferred out. Pretty sure.
Keyshawn Williams with a running play over the 20-yard line.
3rd and 9 here. See if Shannon Patrick here can complete one. Try to keep a drive moving. One guy they have not got the ball to was their leading receiver from a year ago, DeJuan Miller. Been shut out so far.
We'll see if he can convert that 3rd down and 9 and get the ball to Dewan Miller, or maybe their transfer from Missouri, Harry Ballard. That will be next to come when the second quarter rolls around. Right after this, it's TCU 10, Arkansas, Pine-Bluff nothing on Big 12 college football. Gary Patterson said 2 quarterbacks would play in the first quarter, and they did. First 2 series were Alex Delton, and the last series was Max Duggan. It was a touchdown drive, the first one of the game for TCU. They lead 10-0 with the second quarter about to start, and the second quarter starts with Arkansas Pine-Bluff facing 3rd and 9 from their own 22. They played 2 quarterbacks. Skylar Perry started. He played 2 series. This is the second series for Shannon Patrick. He throws quickly, and it's caught, and moving up the sidelines, and a first down for Jeremy Brown.
That's the tight end right there, and he's a little sneaky. Caught a bunch of passes last year for him. He had 30 catches. Not a big guy, but he kind of sneaks out of the backfield. He was just a safety valve on the outside, and, you know, he made a guy miss there.
Got away from Darren Wallow and then knocked out by Jeff Gladney.
Wallow's the only returning linebacker with experience. They're playing a bunch of puppies up front right there. No knock, but I mean, LaKendrick Van Zandt is a converted safety, playing one linebacker, trying to find some guys in it.
Following that Traven Howard plan of converting from safety to linebacker. Keyshawn Williams inside handoff for the 34 to the 36 for Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
Well, that Garrett Wallow right there, coming back with some experience. You can see him filling right here. Gets a late hit. I mean, one thing that Gary Patterson values oversized is speed. I mean, LaKendrick Van Zandt, these guys can flat out run. And he likes the speed of getting to the football, getting as many hats to the ball as possible.
Maybe a jet sweep. They put a man in motion that way. But now Patrick is out to lead the blocking for the running back, Keyshawn Williams. And Williams, first down.
Well, Williams looks like he's the better back right now. He takes this all the way up to the line of scrimmage and then bounces it outside. And Gladney, who was the force on that side, the corner, got caught inside. Nice cut here by Williams. Really selling the inside zone and bouncing it outside. And back to 2 first downs here for the Golden Lions.
They've moved the ball up to midfield. Looking to throw it this time is Shannon Patrick. He throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Vernon Scott breaks up the pass.
Good protection up front, though. I like the way that they gave him a little pocket to make that throw.
Brian, they do try to get the ball to Dewan Miller here. Pine-Bluff does.
Yeah, hit him right on the plastic part of the pad. Good job, though, by the guys up front. The freshman Jordan Mack, number 70 there, the right tackle from Nassau Community College in Garden City, New York, Bradley Burrell. Said he really liked the family atmosphere down there in Pine-Bluff.
Keyshawn Williams running. There was some room, and there's also a late flag. The room went away because Ennis Gaines stepped up. Pickup of 2, but the play may be coming back. We shall see.
Mark, you know that Keyshawn Williams is right from Pine-Bluff, Dalloway High School. They turn out, they have some massive programs in the state of Arkansas right in Pine-Bluff.
Yes, sir. Dalloway High School and Pine-Bluff High School has won over 20 state championships in Arkansas in football. And they've been outstanding in many other sports as well at Pine-Bluff High School. So we have a flag down, and we also have an injured player, and it's Ennis Gaines.
Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 6. 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. Second down.
The illegal block is on the tight end, Jeremy Brown, against Ennis Gaines, who looks like he's going to be okay. Tight end who caught the 3rd down pass. Here he is right here. Jeremy Brown. Oh, there's the chop block. And it was on Adam Plant Jr. Hitting him below the waist. Good call. Just trying to make the game safer right there. Just stay up on it. That's the coaching point right there. Jeremy had position.
Jeremy Brown had a key 3rd down catch earlier on the drive.
That's a 15-yard penalty, though.
All the way back to the 35, screen pass, and it's caught by Porter. And Porter hurdles over Jeff Gladney and got a lot of the penalty yardage back. Not all of it, but a fair chunk of it to the 45 of the Golden Lions.
Biggest play for Porter so far out of Immokalee, Florida. Going to come right out here. Just a little screen. Got two big linemen. You got the right guard out front, Jordan Mack, and got about 10 of those 15 yards they got that they lost on that illegal block below the waist back. Sets up this 3rd and 14.
Brian noted this earlier. The crowning achievement for Taylor Porter last year in a single game was 226 rushing yards against Grambling.
38 carries, too.
Shannon Patrick to throw it, looking for the first down, and it's incomplete. Threw it over the middle, incomplete for Colby McNeil. Was looking for the first down because McNeil was right there at the sticks. Garrett Wallow on coverage.
Again, good protection up front. And this throw is right there. I mean, they're dropping passes.
Yep.
Colby Watts, you can't throw the ball any better. We saw Miller drop one. We've seen Watts drop one. Hit him right in the face mask. Be ready for the ball.
McNeil caught 37 passes last year.
Number 29.
Now Miles Piney's punt. And Rager catches it. Down he goes immediately. Kept waiting to see a fair catch signal, and it never happened, and he was engulfed by would-be tacklers. 12-13 left in the second quarter. TCU at home. They lead the game 10-0. Big 12 college football on Fox Sports is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With quality parts and know-how, Napa Auto Parts and Auto Care Centers can help you keep your car on the road. The John Justin Athletic Center at TCU, where they celebrate the tremendous history of TCU football. Some great footage you see there. Somebody in the future who'll be at the next level carrying the load for that is Lucas Niang. We're going to look at him on this drive with some Baldy breakdowns if things work out, as we see a jet sweep on that play for Darius Davis.
Well, let's watch Lucas Niang right here. I mean, here he comes. Watch him come out of his stance right here. And he's trying to run with the small guy right there. Number 27, Christian Brown. And he was able to stay on him until about the sideline there. But he is massive and can move, and an excellent pass protector.
Now remember, a quarterback now is Max Duggan, and he throws it, and it's a deep one. And a step was there for the receiver, Rager, but the ball was over him by a step.
Started with the protection up front. Let's watch Niang here. Out on the edge against Christian Brown. Here he is out here. Looking in at the ball. Stays inside out. Got that left post hand up there. Keeping him away. And I think Duggan, now here's another shot. Better angle. See that left post hand? He ain't going to let that go. That's just like grabbing just a grip right there. Not going to give it up.
That was Tate Barber that they were throwing the ball to a moment ago. Overthrowing Barber. Now third down. And Duggan has a really good pocket. Oh, and a bullet pass. There's a little behind Trevante Heights, but he adjusts and he hangs onto the ball. And it's a first down for TCU.
And Niang was there to pick him up at the end. But watch this protection on the outside here. Now he's got Jalen Stewart, who was an all-SWAC conference defensive end, wired up.
Throw to the left side this time. Another catch for Heights. He's been a favored target for TCU so far in this game. He's slung down by Jordan Brown after a 7-8 gain.
Well, two good crisp throws in a row by Duggan. And just watch Lucas Niang here against Stewart. Takes him inside and just pushes him to the other side of the field.
Jalen Stewart, 16 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. Second on the team last year, 70 tackles. He's from Memphis and could not get anything done against big Lucas Niang.
Yeah, A.C. Gillum's got to come out for us a play.
33, sit out one play.
That's the second time that's happened to him, as a matter of fact, here in the first half.
Well, you got to double buckle it up. You don't want to miss any snaps, especially when you can make a tackle like that. We'll get it looked at here. There you got two buckles on the side. Get them both strapped up.
10.5 to play first half. TCU up by 10. Third down and 2 for the Horned Frog offense.
Their safeties are cheating up. All going to try and get in the run game here. There it is.
It is a running play. Amari DiMercado and the safeties cheating up. Force a loss and a punt.
Watch these safeties just cheat up right here. I mean, here they come. They're all going to get into the run game here. Going to get extra bodies into the game, and that's the linebacker that time, Colby Watts. We call his name a bunch, but that's a big stop on third down. I mean, give that guy a shot of water or something. I mean, he just made a tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes, sir.
Reward him.
You saw Blake Connor, number 14, Nigel Canada. Both of those safeties were the ones who were creeping up and providing run support, and the run support worked out. Now we see Jordy Sandy from Australia, his first punt for TCU, and it's not fielded terribly cleanly, but the job is done by Tyron Ralph, and Arkansas Pine-Bluff will have the ball after a timeout. The tradition of TCU football is rich. They have produced some of the great names in the game. Sammy Baugh in the 30s played quarterback here from Sweetwater High School. A Heisman Trophy winner from Woodrow Wilson in Dallas, and TCU, Davey O'Brien. Brian.
Yeah. First Heisman Trophy winner, of course, Mr. Cowboy, the first pick of the Dallas Cowboys in 1961, the great Bob Lilly. And LaDainian Tomlinson, nobody will ever wear number 5 here for the Horned Frogs. Co-worker of mine at the NFL Network. A better person than he was a Hall of Fame running back.
Here's a snap for Arkansas. Pine-Bluff from the 6-yard line. And back to the line of scrimmage. And all of those greats for TCU played high school football in Texas. Tonight's game is part of the Texas football celebration to open up the year on Fox Sports Southwest. There's been coverage of high school football the last 2 nights. And a celebration of a sport that is so near and dear to the hearts of everyone that loves sports and is part of the sporting culture in this state of Texas, Brian.
Yeah, it's great to watch. Friday night high school football, just one of those things that people come from all over the country just to witness and to watch and to appreciate.
Lifeblood of the communities. And, of course, the college game with 12 FBS programs in the state. And at lower levels, Texas A&M Commerce has won a Division II national championship. Mary Hardin Baylor has won multiple Division III championships as well. There's Harry Ballard with a 2-yard game, Brian. 3-yard game.
Well, the pursuit got to it. And so TCU's defense has cranked it up here. Midway through this second quarter. Playing a lot of players, a lot of young players out there right now.
Scarlett Perry at quarterback. 3rd down and 7 for the 9. Claps his hands, waits for the snap, throws it underneath. We've seen that tight end Jeremy Brown catch the ball for a 1st down on 3rd down tonight, but not this time. He's brought down for a loss, as a matter of fact.
Well, they can't compete with the speed of TCU, so throwing it horizontally like this, the speed's just going to be too great. I mean, there's LaKendrick Van Sant. He's over there.
Number 9.
O'Shawn Mathis in his gains. The pursuit on all 3 plays to the outside is too much. They're going to have to take their shots down the field. The protection has been good. They should be working down the field more than just sort of the horizontal routes just to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands fast.
Here comes another punt out of the end zone for Miles Piney. Running up to field it, and it's Rager. And Rager's got room. Watch out, it's right. He cuts it to 30. He cuts it to 20. Stumbles it down. All the way down to the Arkansas Pine-Bluff 16-yard line.
And he knew he had a shot there. He kind of stumbled on his break. But they've got 3 guys back protecting him. They're setting up this return.
And a low kick didn't help it out either, did it?
He beat Joshua Wallace that time. And then he stumbled a little bit. They're playing punt return all the way. I'd be directionally punting it. I know they've got a freshman from Australia out there punting, but I would not allow Jalen Rager to catch another one tonight. You could see, like, he wants one in the end zone so bad. He's taken a couple back in his career, 2 back last year.
5:08 left in the second quarter. As a player for Arkansas Pine-Bluff down and being looked at right now after the long punt returned by Jalen Rager. Again, on the point about Texas football days, brought to you by Jack in the Box on Fox Sports Southwest. We talked high school football and what it means to the state, and TCU, the best winning percentage of the 12 FBS college programs in the state of Texas since 2005. And at the top level, the pinnacle of this wonderful sport of football in Texas. Obviously, there have been the Oilers and the Texans in Houston, but certainly from a professional level, represented by the Dallas Cowboys, a team that you were proud to play for many, many seasons.
Yeah,
Brian.
you know, they didn't let you put that star in your helmet until you made the team. You just wore a gray bucket, you know, and then you got the star.
And I've told everybody, I've told you this before, and I you know, preseason games weren't always on television, and in the early 80s when I was a young lad growing up here, and listening to the great Brad Sham, who's still the radio voice of the Cowboys, and would listen to those preseason games, and the Cowboys were always so good about finding undrafted free agents, and I would listen to those games on the radio your first year, Brian, and they would say in preseason, well, this Brian Baldinger, he's having a really good preseason. He's got a shot to make the team, and not only make the team, but a 12-year NFL career, and I believe it was, 8 with the Cowboys, right?
First 6 with the Cowboys.
6.
Yeah, but Tom Landry was the coach there, and, you know, there's only one way to do things for Coach Landry, and I think that Gary Patterson has a lot of the same values that Tom Landry had for 29 years with the Cowboys. It always bothered me, though. He had a little bit of a speech impediment. He called me Byron for the first year. I was afraid to correct him, you know. I didn't want to tell him the name was Brian, but you just don't correct Coach Landry like that.
Well, the good news is I can tell you listening on the radio, even though it was an old AM radio in my room when I was 12 years old, Brad Sham was getting your name right. He was calling you Brian.
Brad something else. He's been there a long time.
40 years, named the press box after him now. 16-yard line for TCU after Jalen Reagor's punt return. And it's a tough inside running here for TCU. Getting up off the deck is Darius Anderson after Nigel Canada's tackle.
We've only seen Anderson and Immercado so far at running back for TCU, but in the second half, we'll see Shewu Aloha, and we'll see a couple of freshmen too, Foster along with Barlow.
Suspension in the first half for Shewu Aloha after an offseason arrest. Here's a throw by Delton, and upstairs and drops. Incompletion.
That's Paul Reeves, the nickelback that time. Just perfectly timed.
Trying to find Tevalence Hunt, Brian?
Yeah. And that's just a good play. Followed through, and the type of play that Hunt certainly can make. Got both hands on it. But Reeves finished the play. Stayed with it, setting up this third down.
Tevalence Hunt from Texas High School and Texarkana. Texarkana, Texas High, Texarkana, Arkansas High. One of the great rivalries in the country in high school football.
Pine-Bluff's got everybody standing up on the defensive line right now. Who's coming, who's dropping?
Delton is looking to throw, and here they come, and they flush him out of the pocket, and they got to him.
Yeah.
It's a sack for Colby Watts, who's been back there in that TCU backfield a lot tonight, and he brings down Delton near the 20-yard line.
Well, you're going to see a couple of the inside guys drop here, and they came from the outside. So these guys, here they come. He kept him in the pocket, and then they flushed him, and then really Colby Watts came from the outside from the middle linebacker spot and chased him down. That's the second sack here in back-to-back series.
It's a pretty good defense out of Pine-Bluff tonight, Byron.
Well, we're seeing speed. Thank you, Mark. They got better team speed this year, and it's showing up.
And they've got a new defensive coordinator this year. Here is Jonathan Song's field goal attempt with 3:40 left. And he just sneaks it inside the upright. It's points for TCU, but Cedric Thomas and the Pine-Bluff Golden Lions feel like it's a win. They hold them to only 3. 13-0.
Season long.
Some hard-working guys on that sideline for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. A long punt return by Jalen Reagor put the Frogs at the 16 of the Golden Lions, but a sack forced a field goal.
The kids are playing good up front. Jalen Stewart right there, along with DeCarlo Hamilton, 99. Guys are playing good up front. And I think they feel like, they can play. They belong. And that's a credit right there to Cedric Thomas in his second year here and what he's doing, because last year, they gave up 260 yards a game on the ground. They were not fundamentally sound. They had to weed out a bunch of kids. They had to get tougher, get in the weight room. They've done all those things.
Kickoff return for the 5-yard line. Keyshawn Williams down just after he cleared the 15. 3:36 left in the second quarter, and time for a college football game break with Aaron Hardigan.
And Mark, it was Mac Brown's debut at North Carolina today as the head coach. Tar Heels were in fact down 11 in the fourth of it, but they would rally with 2 minutes left. Sam Howell finding Bo Corrales there for the score. North Carolina defeats South Carolina 24-20.
The Tar Heels. Usually that game is played later in the year, but the Battle of the Carolinas there. Or as my dad used to say in the United States Military Academy, just Battle of the Kakalakis.
Shannon Patrick is at quarterback again. We've seen both Perry and Patrick, Skylar Perry and Shannon Patrick for the Golden Lions. Inside handoff Garrett Wallow brings down Taylor Porter after a gain of 3.
And Garrett Wallow's been really steady tonight. Really steady, playing behind some really good defensive tackles. He's made a lot of plays here in this first half. TCU's a pure four-man front defense, 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. In his gains, right here is the 5th defensive back. Staple of Gary Patterson's defense.
Quick pass by Patrick, and it's caught on the right side. Tyron Ralph fought off a tackle enough to allow him to attain the first down.
Yeah, well, that's what I said the last series. They have to attack down the field. The protection has been good. I mean, this is just, you know, basically a little China route to the outside. But they've got enough time to look down the field. They don't have to throw these horizontal routes and hit screens. Here's Porter.
10th carry of the game for him. And he's up around 27 yards rushing for the game after that 5-yard pickup, upended at the 34 of the Golden Lions.
Watch this Porter's feet. He makes Wallow miss. That's a great open field tackle right there by LaKendrick Van Zandt, former safety, now playing linebacker.
Play fake and batted down pass. Leaping up to knock it down. I think that might have been LaKendrick Van Zandt.
Yeah, and he had a streaking DeJuan Miller coming across the middle of the field that was open. Watch Van Zandt. There it is. This kid's athletic ability is crazy. He's been the star of this summer camp. People have been raving about him. You still got to go out and play. Looking, he's got that sheet on his arm right there, looking for the call. The video test for 2 hours and 45 minutes wasn't enough last night, Mark. You still got to put the call sheet on that left wrist.
From Henderson, Texas, LaKendrick Van Zandt.
I like the name.
Batted down the pass. Leading Pine-Bluff, 3rd and 4. Oh, wide open. They beat the blitz. Caught at the 50. Taylor Porter taken down off his feet in TCU territory near the 40.
Now Porter got hit hard as he ended up on his backside that time, landing on his back kidney. But you're going to see Porter just come out here in a wheel route. Nobody picked him up. There's a breakdown in Gary Patterson's defense that will get talked about a bunch at halftime.
That went for 24 yards to Porter. And now Patrick, incomplete, way over Tyron Ralph, the closest receiver for the Golden Lions.
Well, there was miscommunication that time, but I keep saying it. The protection for the quarterbacks here in the Golden Lions has been sound. It has been. The guys up front are doing their job against a very talented TCU defensive line. That kid right there, that freshman, doesn't look like a freshman. Jordan Mack. He played at a huge pro, Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, one of the best programs in the country.
2nd down and 10. Pitch it to Keyshawn Williams. Out of bounds along the sideline. Pine-Bluff's out of timeouts. That play stops the clock with 1:48 left in the second.
Well, they cross midfield here. They're inside the 40. Can they put a scoring drive together before halftime? I mean, it would be a big win for Cedric Thomas. I feel like his kids, 75 of them that bust here from Pine-Bluff, are gaining confidence as this game goes on.
Said this year they understand how to do the little things and be disciplined in everyday actions. They're walking different. They're talking different.
That's confidence for you.
They've moved it to the TCU 40. 3rd down and long. Throwing, and Tyron Ralph goes upstairs to grab it, but he's short of the first down. A yard and a half shy of the first down.
They got to have a play for 4th and a yard and a half on the road against a big Division I opponent like TCU. You play to try to win this game. You put your defense on the field if you can't make it, but you certainly have to have a play here for 4th and a yard. Cedric Thomas looks like he's made that decision to go. Pine-Bluff trying to get in the right formation. They have a slot tight end to the right. Williams in the backfield.
10 seconds left on the play clock. 4th down and 1. And before the snap, a marker is down. Ooh.
I think they moved too soon. Little false start.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
1:05 left in the second.
Yeah, here's the kid I'm talking about, Bradley Burrell. Just a little bit early on that. 4th down right there. You want to kind of look at the ball and see your man at the same time. I went to that community college in Garden City, Nassau Community College. I know how he's been trained, and he coached them, and
He's got a good future here.
Well, they're not going to let the penalty change their mind. They're still going for it on 4th and 6.
They're going to try to draw him off sides. Sometimes that's a technique.
Yeah. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. A lot of movement, and they're going for it. Back to throw. Shannon Patrick, protection, picks up the blitz. He throws deep, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at the 5-yard line. Here's the return for Trayvon Merrick. He's got blockers. Merrick intercepted this at the 5-yard line as he cut it back towards the middle of the field. The offensive lineman, the aforementioned Bradley Burrell, took him out at the 40.
That's what you do at Nassau Community College. An interception, you go back to make the tackle. I mean, it's just kind of a Hail Mary type throw. The free safety's just sitting back there, the second interception of the day for the Frogs. But this hustle by 79 Bradley Burrell to try and stop Mooring here from taking this to the house will get talked about all week long by Pine-Bluff, because this is a great play, making that tackle and hustling back for it. You get that kind of effort, you have to talk about it. It's great effort by that right tackle.
The return with 26 seconds left in the half as TCU at the Arkansas Pine-Bluff 36, leading the game 13-0.
Duggan in their quarterback.
He has scored the only touchdown tonight for TCU, and his zipped throw to the left sideline. Catch an immediate hit delivered by Paul Reeves right as Darius Davis caught the ball.
Well, Reeves is that nickel back, and he's made a bunch of plays out here.
Their second time out of the half. Please reset the game clock to 30 seconds.
Well, he defeated the block on the outside, first of all, Dylan Thomas.
22 seconds.
That's a big-time play on the outside by Reeves. You defeat the block of Dylan Thomas, and then you make the tackle right there for a yard loss. And after your offense, throws the interception, they get the run back, you make a big stop right away. That's what you want. You want complimentary football from your team.
22 seconds remaining. TCU has one more timeout to use before the end of the first half. Turnovers, 2 in the game for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. Both of them interceptions. Each quarterback has thrown an interception. Skylar Perry's thrown 1. And now Shannon Patrick has thrown 1. Darius Washington and Trayvon Merrick have the interceptions for the Frogs.
That's Jalen Rager down there at the bottom. Maybe it's time to dial up his number.
That's Duggan, the true freshman. And they're going to dial up Rager's number. Oh, my, he was tackled. It's Darius Davis. That's the intended receiver that was tackled when the ball came flying in from Martavius Washington.
Yeah. Well, they hit the post. Now, that's a tough play for the corner. The corner on that play, Martavius Washington, he's got to play number 1, which is Rager on the outside.
Pass
then he's got to...
Defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It is a tough play for this corner. What he had to do, you're taking Jalen Rager down on the streak route, and then you got to come back to the middle and cover Davis. And he just got twisted up. He wasn't looking to grab him. His feet just got tangled up.
Yep. 15 seconds left in the half. Ball to the 22 after the 15-yard penalty against the Golden Lions. Again, TCU one timeout. The middle of the field is an option. Max Duggan throws in the middle of the field. Darius Davis caught it, hit hard, flags down. He got belted at the 10. Again, a marker's down. The clock is at 7 seconds.
Was the flag offsides by Pine-Bluff prior to the snap? They would decline the penalty and take the play if that's the call. I saw somebody in the neutral zone, and I think it was a late flag.
There's an official there without a hat.
See, I think Stewart was in the neutral zone. I think that's the flag that came in from the sidelines. Just a 3-man rush. Duggan does a good job of keeping his eyes down the field and locating the open receiver.
Even with that 3-man rush, that was from that top side. I think that was Mitchell, Xavier Mitchell, the defensive end, was about to get there.
They've done a lot of 3-man rushes here and dropping 8. They've mixed it up. I think it's one of the reasons why Cedric Thomas here has had some success keeping the Horned Frogs at 10 points so far. 7 seconds left.
We are still awaiting the infraction and explanation.
Yeah, it's taking too long. We should be pretty clear.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Offside, defense number 58. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, targeting, defense number 9. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. The previous play is under further review. All
targeting plays are automatically reviewed. We noted earlier there will be a higher level of scrutiny on those reviews.
It was on Rico Merriweather, the safety. I mean, he hit him in the back. You know, the receiver's going down to the ground. Davis is going down to the ground. All he was doing is finishing the play. He didn't hit him in the head. I think when they look at this review that they have to pick this up.
Forcible contact in the head or neck.
No, he didn't hit him in the back. Davis is going down. He's just trying to go down to meet him.
Did he lead with the crown of the helmet? That would be another indicator.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's four categories of targeting. They had replayed one targeting call here tonight. They picked up the flag. They said there wasn't any. We saw that.
Call on the field is targeting and automatically reviewed.
He hit him in the shoulder. I don't think he ever even hit him with the head. I know he was going down just to finish the play, but they are writing something down here. The upper screen, so I don't know.
This is junior Rico Merriweather from Augusta, Georgia, the player who has been called for targeting with 7 seconds left in the half.
If he is called for it, he'll have to sit out the whole second half.
Or the infraction to occur in the second half, and that would put him out for the first half next week. So happening now would not do that. And by the way, the next game for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, they'll actually start conference play at Alabama A&M next week.
Alabama A&M. These are Mountain West officials here tonight.
Steve
After
Barrett.
further review, there is no foul for targeting. The result of the play is a first down at the 11-yard line.
It really shouldn't take that long. I mean, it was pretty clear there was no intent. He didn't hit him with the helmet.
On my ready for play.
Cedric Thomas trying to make sure his players are lined up, ready to go. And start the clock here.
Yep, on the ready for play. That's key. Remember, just one timeout left for TCU. And it is Duggan throwing the ball quickly to the end zone and incomplete. And a flag comes in. Now, the clock has run out. It appears there's going to be a defensive foul on Martavius Washington, who's already been called for pass interference on the drive.
And the half can't end on a defensive foul.
And this particular foul, Brian, if it's pass interference in the end zone, would put the ball at the 2.
Yeah.
Field goal units coming on.
An untimed down.
Bizarro world here on some plays at the end of the first half.
It's a good call.
Defense number 23. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down. We'll have one untimed down.
It's a good call. It's a good call. I mean, it was clear interference on Rager. Probably not a bad way to stop their best player, just to interfere with him on that throw and force him to kick the field goal.
Jonathan Song has hit from 24 and 36. Now he has a sharp right to left angle 19-yard attempt. 3 for 3 on three-point tries tonight for Jonathan Song. TCU reaches the half, leading Arkansas Pine-Bluff 16-0. In a moment, Leslie McCaslin will catch up with Gary Patterson. Before she does, Brian, quick thought on the first half.
I thought that Pine Bluff came and they were really competitive. They're a much better team than a year ago. I think TCU, I mean, they look a little rusty here. You get that the first game of the season sometimes. Made some mistakes, but I think Gary Patterson likes the fact that he's playing a lot of young kids, 40 kids that are playing their first game for TCU tonight. So, young team, I think that they'll clean things up in the second half. But Pine-Bluff has been very competitive. They're a much better team than a year ago.
Let's hear what Gary Patterson has to say with Leslie.
Coach, what more do you want to see from your team in the second half?
Well, obviously I'm not very happy with the barely scoring. So, outside the mistakes, we got to get ready to play. But like I told them over here, we've left about 14 points on the board. We got to get ready to play.
Will you continue to play 2 quarterbacks in the second half?
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Gary Patterson with Leslie McCaslin. 16-0 is the lead for TCU after the first 30 minutes of the 2019 season. Max Duggan has a short touchdown run. Jonathan Song, 3 field goals, and TCU's defense has forced 2 turnovers. They're in front, but Arkansas Pine-Bluff, the Golden Lions, giving them a fight tonight. 16-0 TCU at the half on Big 12 College Football. Stay with us. Third quarter about to start. TCU 16, Arkansas Pine-Bluff nothing. Moments ago, Leslie McCaslin caught up with Golden Lions head coach Cedric Thomas.
Thanks. Well, Coach, what did you tell your team at halftime?
Just keep fighting. We're not satisfied with more victory. You know, they work hard enough and believe they win, and they should win. And we know that's a great ball club over there, but we didn't come down here for more victory. So we want to continue to play hard, keep fluids in them, and execute on a high level. And so every little kid that got an opportunity to play on this level, that you got a chance if you do the hard work and mentally be prepared. So we got 2 quarters to play, and I want to still play hard and win this football game.
All right. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. Good luck.
One of the things that he'll like, Cedric Thomas, that is, when he looks at statistics from the first half, is what you are circling right now, Brian. Rushing yards for TCU, 42. Rushing yards for the Golden Lions, 69.
Yeah, well, listen, last year, the Golden Lions gave up almost 7 yards a carry in their 10 games. It is complete reversal here today. And he said the run defense was going to get better. And they showed it in that first half. And I'm sure it doesn't sit well with Gary Patterson, but that's what competing is all about. The kids are playing well from Pine-Bluff.
Zach Pisnitska.
Easy for you to say.
Yes.
For practicing.
Short kickoff. And it's fielded. And the ball came out. Did it roll out of bounds? It may very well have.
Yeah. Isaac Peppers came up with it, 53. But they knocked it loose.
The ball was fumbled out of bounds. The ball was placed at the spot of where it went out of bounds.
Well, the ball was loose. It was knocked loose on the pooch kick. It's a great hit, knocking that ball loose.
TCU will start at their own 26. That was a fumble out of bounds by TCU. Both of these teams averaged just over 2 fumbles per game last year. And they barely got the snap off before the play clock ran out. And running the ball in a lane to run, and he made a man miss. And then a little stumble by Alex Delton. He made another man miss, and down the sideline. That was a strange start to the play because they barely got the snap off before the play clock ran out. But a weaving long run by the quarterback, Alex Delton, to the Pine-Bluff 15.
Well, so much for that rush defense statistic in the first half. Alex Delton just broke that on the first carry. And that's what he's capable of doing. He did that in many of his games that he played in at Kansas State.
It's officially 55 yards to the Pine-Bluff 19-yard line. Here's Darius Anderson, turned to the outside and forced out of bounds after a short run by Colby Watts.
They've done a good job bottling up Derek Anderson so far in this game. Really has not. The longest run he's had is 9 yards so far today.
Keep in mind, again, for his TCU career, Brian, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. Yep. Nothing longer than 9 yards. That's certainly noteworthy. Second down and 8. See if we have a Shewo Lanalua appearance at some point in the not-too-distant future here in the second half. It is Delton rolling and throwing, and incomplete. And that was, I believe, Lanalua, who they were throwing it in the direction of.
Well, you can't miss him. I mean, he's 6'3", 240 pounds. One of the bigger running backs in the country. And I think he's poised for a big senior season.
Kingwood, Texas.
Yep. If you can get the towel straight, towel's giving him a little bit of a problem.
did not get his first touch because the pass was incomplete. And now Delton, who just ran for 55 yards, is scrambling and throwing and way out of the end zone.
Good coverage. I mean, everybody was plastered. I mean, that's a term you use when defensive back is on the receiver, not letting any air in between. You just take a look. I mean, if you just freeze it right here, I mean, you got him frozen there, you got him frozen there, got him covered here. I mean, no place for Delton to go with the ball, forcing this field goal attempt.
Tonight, Jonathan Song is hit from 24, 36, and 19 in that order. And now he will have a 34-yard kick out of the hold of Jordy Sandy. Snapped back by Antonio Ortiz from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Fourth field goal of the game. Song on the money.
Song needs a song. I mean, he keeps kicking like this.
Nice start to the season for him. 4 for 4 tonight, including this hit from 34 yards out. And the TCU lead swells to 19-0 over Arkansas Pine-Bluff. Arkansas Pine-Bluff head coach Cedric Thomas just called a timeout before this TCU offensive 3rd down and 7 play.
Well, he's calling the defense, and the guys didn't get lined up right, and he called the timeout to make a teaching point. And it's the right timeout. Here he is. He's coming out there. He's going to let the guy know who screwed up. And I think it was, I'm not going to put any name on, it doesn't matter. But he's letting the guys know that it's just not going to be tolerated. And it's a good timeout. And it's a good time to teach it and learn it and hopefully not repeat it. And that's what coaches are. They're teachers.
Now let's see what the Golden Lions defense does as they defend a 3rd and 7 with Alex Delton of the TCU offense. 21-yard line.
Showing blitz. They've had success with it.
It's picked up for now. Delton stands in the pocket. And down the seam, he just misses Darius Davis.
I thought it was a good throw to Darius Davis. He's in the middle of the 3. Runs the post one-on-one. I thought it was right there. I just didn't get both hands on it. They did get both hands on it. And I was taught by my dad from the earliest of ages, when you touch it, you should catch it.
Time out for an injured player.
It's a good throw by Delton.
Paul Reeves was the defender. But Darius is there, and he pulled his arms and hands back just a little bit at the last second.
Looked like he misjudged it.
There is an injured Pine-Bluff player in the end zone right now. So on that point about Cedric Thomas and the defense, they have a new defensive coordinator this year, John Bradley. Came from North Carolina Central, and he played in the NFL, by the way, defensive lineman in the NFL in the past, or the Lions and the Buccaneers. But even with the new defensive coordinator, Cedric Thomas is calling the defensive plays. And he said to us this week when we spoke with him, last year, a lot of things defensively weren't done to my liking, but I sat back. However, I didn't like that taste in my mouth. There were fundamental pieces that were lacking. I screwed it up last year by allowing it to happen, so it's best for me to lay the foundation now so we understand what we're doing. And so that's what we just saw a moment ago.
Yeah. Well, he brought in a couple coaches this year. Anye Buago, the offensive line coach, run game coordinator.
Who we talked to before the game, and he loves Baldy breakdowns, by the way.
Well, I mean, he's tuned in. He knows what's going on. Cedric is coming out to take a look at his player. He wants to get his player off the field and get back to the game. He brought in a new strength coach, nutritionist, helping him out right here, making a big difference. And you can see there's the cramping going on.
That was Reeves. That was Reeves, the defender.
Yeah. Paul Reeves, we talked a great deal about. Looks like it's just cramps on him right now.
Jonathan Song, 9 for 12 all last season on field goals. He's got a chance to make it 5 for 5 tonight. This attempt from 37 yards. 22-0. With 8:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. The right leg of Jonathan Song has been the most valuable weapon for TCU.
The World Poker Tour on Fox Sports Networks.
Monte Rager played collegiately at Texas Tech, did a decade as an NFL defensive end with the Eagles, Colts, and Broncos, has a Super Bowl ring from his time with the Indianapolis Colts. His son, Jalen Rager, of course, the star wide receiver for TCU, and Monte is here to watch Jalen tonight, and Monte is with Leslie McCaslin right now.
Thanks, guys. He is. This is kind of a cool moment for me because I grew up in Lubbock watching Monte play for Texas Tech for 4 years, and of course, then on to the NFL. Okay, but I want to ask you about Jalen. First of all, does he get his speed from you?
Of course. I mean, I'm the fastest there was. Nah, I think he get a little bit probably from his mom and me, but he get his athletic ability definitely from me.
Did you know early on that he was going to be something special?
I knew. I mean, Jalen, he's always wanted to be the best at what he does. He worked hard, his mindset and his just development. And, you know, I knew eventually he was going to have something great within.
Yeah, he told me at Big 12 Media Days he can't imagine being slow. But what Gary Patterson loves about him is also the toughness, that he has a defensive mind. They say because of you. Do you see that in your son?
Oh, no doubt. He's definitely a defensive-minded receiver. He's not one of the prima donnas that's, you know, plays soft and whines and cries. He's going to take it, he's going to grind, he's going to block and do all the dirty work, and then make big plays on top of it.
And get this, guys, Jalen is the oldest. He has 2 more sons, so we might see a couple more playing someday, right?
That's the plan.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Leslie. I tell you, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling for a father, seeing their son like that, you know, not just be a great player, but he's really a great kid, great person, does everything right. They asked him this year if he could step up the leadership role, kind of get on some of the younger receivers, something he's not naturally comfortable with doing, but he's stepping up in that department as well.
We talked to Sonny Cumbie, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. He said that when I challenge him during practice right now, he's responding better to that as well. Skylar Perry's back in the game at quarterback, by the way. And bouncing off to the left side is Keyshawn Williams at running back for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. And it will be 3rd down and 8.
And Keyshawn was bouncing. He was bouncing from one hole to another, and all he kept seeing was Horned Frogs. Like they closed every gap. And that's what great run defense does. And Gary Patterson every year has a great run defense.
Keyshawn Williams running again. And the run defense bottles things up.
Yeah, you know, on that 3rd down, I mean, I think you got to take a shot. The protection has been good. We've talked about it. They have held up pretty good for both quarterbacks. We haven't seen much from DeJuan Miller, who was last year's star wide receiver, an all SWAC player, and they just haven't gone to him at all. And I think Cedric Thomas might be a little upset with that call on 3rd down.
Wearing number 38.
It's a 3 and out, gaining 5 yards for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, and Miles Piney is back to punt again. And Jalen Rager is back to receive the punt.
Come after him.
Fair catch at the 35-yard line. It's time for a college football game break. Here's Aaron Hardigan.
Mark, Middle Tennessee keeping it close with Michigan, but in the 3rd, Dylan McCaffrey giving the Wolverines some breathing room with those McCaffrey legs, guys. Michigan up 33-14 now in the 4th.
Conference USA's Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Good showing tonight. Speaking of a good showing, I know Cedric Thomas told Leslie that we're a lot more about a good showing, but from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Arkansas Pine-Bluff has held TCU to 1 touchdown and 5 field goals in 2.5 quarters. A team that was giving up 43 points per game as an FCS team last year.
Well, South Dakota scored 90 against them last year.
Yep.
The Jackrabbits.
Yeah, South Dakota State won a game 90-6 last year, but the defense has come to play. They played hard. I mean, this is what they're trying to improve upon from last year. And the 558 yards and 43 points a game they surrendered as an FCS team that went 2-9, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, 260 yards a game. They've kept that to half of that so far tonight against a much better opponent.
2nd and 9 after that last 1-yard run and a high pass. Alex Delta looking for John Stevens Jr. and incomplete.
Stevens is a big receiver. He's 6'5", a big target. They like to kind of get him going. You know, they have inside receivers and outside receivers, and Stevens is an outside guy. And that's right where you want to put it, up high to him.
The stepsister, of course, is Sloane Stevens, the great tennis player. She won the U.S. Open in 2017.
What a run that was.
3rd down and 9 for TCU, their own 36. A lot of time for Delton. And he will throw it on the run. And it's caught by Tavalis Hunt. Still on his feet, now down. Run down from behind. Just shy of the Arkansas Pine-Bluff 40.
Well, that's what Alex Delton can do. He can get out of harm's way here, keep his eyes down the field, and make that throw on the run. I mean, it's just hard to stay with a receiver that long. You're asking a freshman Jordan Brown to do that.
You know, we've rightly praised, that is, Pine Bluff's defense for showing signs of a lot of improvement from last year. One thing they probably will wish they had done better tonight, Brian. TCU now 7 of 13 in the game on 3rd downs, as it's kept here by Alex Delton and wide to the sideline and out after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, good pursuit that time, though. I thought that TCU, with the size of their offense line, the experience they have, would go right at Arkansas Pine-Bluff, and they really haven't done that. They've got a lot of their runs on the edges, quarterback keeps, but they really haven't just moved the line of scrimmage. That's a credit to big guys up front like Rashard Clayton right there.
From Memphis Central High School, Clayton. A lot of Lou is the back. Delta to throw, stands in the pocket, sends it in the direction of the end zone, and with inside position, it's broken up.
Perfect by Sean Steele. I mean, really, I watched the whole route. You know, he's going up against a much bigger receiver in Stevens. He stayed inside out. He looked back for the ball. I mean, this is textbook. I mean, it's just everything but coming up with the ball. But he never allowed Stevens to get position, and Stevens has had a number of plays like that tonight.
The pass breakup by Sean Steele on 2nd down, leaving 3rd down and 8. This is where, again, Pine-Bluff has struggled at times to get stops. Will they hear? Long throw, they do get a stop. Rager had hands on it, but then it was broken up at the last minute, got dislodged from the ball by Jordan Brown.
That Jordan Brown, that freshman now, is competing. He's only 164 pounds. He got the ball out of Rager's hands. It's right there. Watch this. That's it. That's the finish. I mean, they're going to like a lot of things that they see on tape tonight. I mean, Delton put the ball right where he needs to. There's a couple of drops for Rager tonight, and that's considered a drop when a guy like Jordan Brown gets the ball out of his hands, forcing that punt, or this punt.
From the Australian Jordy Sandy. With Adam Nunez and Andrew David gone.
There's the rugby style, that backspin. It just sticks right in the turf and it bounces back. I wish I'd learned how to do that when I was a kid.
Timeout on the field. Pine-Bluff with a football, 4:20. Celebrating the great game of football on Fox Sports Southwest this weekend. Texas Football Days presented by Jack in the Box. High school game, Mason Wall at the Puncher Dome, Brian, on Thursday night in the Hill Country. Yeah.
Oh, man, I got to take a visit to the Puncher Dome.
What a unique and iconic stadium. Running play, first down, big room, Taylor Porter. That's one of the 2 longest plays, one of the 2 plays of 10-plus yards on first down tonight for Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
He's going to come right up the middle here. Just picks his way through it. They did a good job of blocking Blacklock and Bethley up front. And he got his first split of the night. You got to block this man, number 90, Blacklock up front. They did. Double-teamed him right out of the hole. Good job between the center and the right guard, Matt.
They get the ball to DeJuan Miller on a jet sweep after a 17-yard run there by Taylor Porter. We will be isoing on Ross Blacklock some on this particular drive. There he is.
Out of Missouri City. Let's watch him right here. They run a twist stunt in front of him. And this is the speed that he gets. I mean, he's a 320-pound defensive tackle, but his lateral movement is exceptional. He's coming off a torn Achilles.
Yep.
Mark, you know, in basketball, you tear your Achilles, like it's basically, your career's over.
Yep. It's certainly changed and not for the better, that's for sure. And in many cases, it has ended careers. Kept here by quarterback Skylar Perry. Ross Blacklock after a great 2017 and then the Achilles injury last August.
This is a bootleg this time by a left-handed quarterback to the right. So most left-handed quarterbacks bootleg to the side that they're going to throw to, except Perry doesn't. He only bootlegs to the right. And Gary Patterson must have told his defense that last night 10 times in a video test. And for them not to defend that play is going to drive them nuts.
And they gained 5 yards on it to make it a manageable third down for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. 3rd and 4. Taylor Porter, just nowhere to go after they pitch it to him. Outnumbered by purple shirts was Taylor Porter on the right side of the field.
I see Vernon Scott over there, the safety. The first thing you got to do is you got to defeat the blocks on the outside by the wide receivers, and they did that. Wallow was over there, Vernon Scott. They did a good job of bottling them up on the outside that time.
Saw freshman linebacker D. Winters go off while he was holding his hand or his arm, wrist, something like that. Miles Piney's punt is fielded on the run. It was robbed by Rager. Free ball. Free football, and pouncing on it is Arkansas Pine-Bluff with 2:02 to go in the third quarter. It's a TCU turnover. 5 fumbles for the Frogs tonight, 2 of which have now been lost.
Yeah, well, that's what Gary Patterson's going to do. I mean, this is inexcusable. This is one of the great punt returns. It always starts.
Covered by the kicking team. First down, Pine-Bluff.
The play starts with the ball, and he took his eyes off it. That's the cardinal error on that play, and you love the mad scramble for the loose ball by Pine-Bluff on that play. I mean, you just love the effort. And they have made TCU put the ball on the ground many times tonight. Jalen Rager knows, look, he's not even going to take his helmet off. He doesn't want to be seen. He knows he's going to hear it. But they need him. You know, they're going to need him this year. They're going to need him in the punt return game. And he's shaking his head. And he knows it's all on him.
To throw the ball now, Shannon Patrick in the game at quarterback. And off the turnover. They go for the end zone. And Harry Ballard has caught it. And it's down just shy of the goal line at the 1.
They got their big play from Shannon Patrick. The go route to the big Missouri transfer. Harry Ballard, he ran right by the corner on the play. Keon Stewart, I don't know if he didn't get in the end zone. I mean, let's see. It's a good catch. Right foot in, left foot out. Right there. Okay, right beside the 1-yard line.
Motion for Ballard, handoff Keyshawn Williams, hitting the backfield, bounces outside, and Arkansas Pine-Bluff is on the board 2 plays after the turnover.
Yeah, Keyshawn just finishes that play, Williams, and they get on the board. Look at the fans that traveled 500 miles to get here. Yeah, you're going to see Patrick gets out a block. The quarterback gets the lead block on the play.
I mean, he lowered his shoulder. That was a great block by Patrick.
Unbelievable.
Keon Stewart, the corner. He got blown up by the quarterback, Brian.
How many times do you see the quarterback, after he hands off, become the lead blocker like that and got the key block on the outside? Patrick made the big throw down the field to Ballard, then he got the key block for Williams' touchdown.
And the extra point by Zach Pavniska is good. 22-7, 1:31 to go in the third quarter, and here's Aaron Hart again with a college football game break.
Mark over in Arlington, Auburn down 8 to Oregon in the 4th until Joey Gatewood does his best. Cam Newton there, the leap over the goal line. Auburn opts to kick the extra point, so they trail 21-20 in the 4th, guys.
Here it's 22-7, TCU over Arkansas Pine-Bluff. When you have a turnover, you go right after it, and that's exactly what they did. A 36-yard pass to the 1, and then here's the 1-yard touchdown run. Watch the quarterback, Shannon Patrick's block.
Watch his block. Watch the block on Keon right there. And he'd open up the gate. I mean, that's exactly how you draw. You get the fumble recovery. You force the fumble. You get the fumble recovery. You take the shot down the field, and then you run it in and let your quarterback throw the lead block. I mean, the Golden Lions, they have played hard. It is something to watch.
Yeah.
they're going to be a player in the SWAC this year. I mean, this coach is doing a good job, Cedric Thomas, of turning this around.
Well, they were picked last in the SWAC preseason poll, and I asked Cedric Thomas when we talked to him this week about that, Brian, and he said we should be picked last when you look at what we did defensively last year, which was not good. We're not concerned about the preseason poll. We're only concerned about the post.
You know what I like about Cedric Thomas? He believes in football gods. He said the football gods, you don't cheat the football gods, Mark. You only get it by hard work, determination, by putting the work in. He said last year we didn't do it.
We didn't do things right behind the scenes, and the football gods aren't going to be fair.
No, they're not. You gotta come into Amon G. Carter Stadium and putting a touchdown up in the third quarter.
It was all after the fumble punt by Jalen Rager. And now running up the field to kick for TCU is Darius Anderson. Oh, and Anderson has a seat. And it's all the way out to the 38-yard line, 39 on the return.
I got in the elevator to come to the game tonight, Mark, and I got into an elevator with a woman that had a TCU number 6 jersey on. I said, "You're a fan of the Jet?" She said, "I'm the grandmother of the Jet." The rest of the family is down in the lobby. I went over and said hello to them, man. Nice people.
All right, I need you to take me inside a film room for a second here. When the film is shown defensively for TCU and Keon Stewart got blown up on a block by the quarterback, how will people react to the film room?
Well, I mean, they're gonna say you can't let that happen. But Shannon Patrick put a good block. He put him right in the chest.
And here's an incomplete pass. Darius Davis, the intended receiver. Max Duggan is in to the game at quarterback again. His numbers from his first collegiate action tonight.
First half, 8 of 10 in the first half. Just first incompletion here of the second half. He was on target, though. I mean, the ball comes out hot. Knows where to go with the ball. Looks like he's got a command of what this offense is supposed to look like.
He'll throw again. Rolling and throwing and caught, stepping out of bounds. Grabbed by Dylan Thomas. Just caught 2 passes last year. Junior from Haskell High School right here in Fort Worth.
You know, when I watched this week tape of last year's Golden Lions defense, it was hard to watch, Mark. I mean, they didn't tackle. They didn't get lined up right. I mean, when I'm watching, even that forcing the back out right there on that throw, like they're just so much more sound in what they're doing so far this year.
They're down in 3. Duggan's throw underneath. Darius Davis a catch. Got hit by Rico Merriweather at midfield and then down to the 46 of Pine-Bluff for a first down.
See, if Rico, though, doesn't make that tackle in the middle of the field, that might be a touchdown.
Yes.
And last year, they probably missed that tackle. But he's in the right place. His head is up. Got the player to the ground.
Duggan's first down throw. Caught along the left sideline by Trevante Heights, who goes over 100 yards receiving tonight. Colby Watts tackles him.
You know, the one thing that Cedric Thomas was worried about was the speed of TCU's offense. Nobody in the SWAC goes this fast. They're lined up, ready to go. It hasn't been a factor so far.
Second down and 1. They line up quickly. They go quickly. They throw into the end zone. And Jalen Rager with redemption after the fumbled punt catches a long touchdown pass to extend the lead for TCU with 7 seconds left in the third quarter.
Well, it was just going to be a matter of time, and I'm sure Jalen was upset about fumbling the punt. Sometimes you just have to make it up. I mean, it's just a post route right here. Duggan put it right on him. First touchdown throw for Duggan in his career. And, you know, for that throw and that catch, we'll drop a little confetti right there. Jalen Rager and Heights celebrating.
He's run for 1, now he's thrown for 1. And TCU has something pretty special. And freshman quarterback Max Duggan connects with Jalen Rager. 37 yards officially on the touchdown pass.
It's just going to be the slant. He's running from the outside. But just a post. Deep post right here. Got behind the corner. The safety was drawn up on the arrow that I drew on the inside slant receiver.
Now 5 grabs, 71 yards, and the first time in the end zone for Jalen Rager, who had 9 touchdown catches last year. 29-7 TCU.
Well, that's what you want to see from your star wide receiver. You make a mistake, you come right back, and you make up for it with a big play like that. They said that Max Duggan had some great days in August throwing the football out there in training camp. They practice every day at 5 o'clock. They practice in the heat. They practice outdoors. You haven't seen any TCU players cramping here. In fact, Gary Patterson is pretty proud of all the summer practices. They only had 4 IVs the whole summer with this team.
Mike Collins played quarterback last year, and it started as a 3-way competition in terms of how the reps were being divvied up between Alex Delton and Max Duggan and Collins. But Collins got banged up during practice in August, and then that allowed Max Duggan and Alex Delton to get the primary reps. So those two really established and separated themselves, and both looked very good, as you were just speaking about how excited they were about Duggan's August.
Yeah, and really it was just a perfect storm for both Alex Delton and Max Duggan to come here. Kind of a down year for quarterbacks. They both came here in January. They had 11 players transfer either as true freshmen or transfers in January. So they got all the spring practice, the summer drills to learn the offense and the defense.
Catch by Jeremy Brown. This drive for Pine-Bluff starting at the 25-yard line, and that's the final play of the third quarter. A short pass that goes for 4 yards. Arkansas Pine-Bluff on the board for the first time in the game in the third quarter, but then Jalen Rager responds with a second TCU touchdown tonight. For Fort Worth, Texas, this is Big 12 football, and after 3 quarters, it's TCU 29, Arkansas Pine-Bluff 7.
.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Big 12 college football on Fox Sports is brought to you by Ford. Visit your best in Texas Ford dealer today and see why Ford is America's best-selling brand. Seeing some highlights on the first 3 quarters tonight. 29-7 is the lead for TCU over Arkansas Pine-Bluff after 3 quarters. I'm Mark Ballowell, our analyst Brian Baldinger, on the sideline Leslie McCaslin, our producer Dave Keeney, director Mark Vittorio, spotter Ralph Sauceda, stats Kevin Fox. Thanks for joining us for our coverage of Big 12 football, the opener of 2019 for TCU for the Big 12, Arkansas Pine-Bluff from the SWAC.
Garrett Wallow on that tackle, and he just wallowed up Taylor Porter here in this play. Porter's tried to jump a couple times tonight. It's not been a good move on his part. He's not jumping over anybody, and he's taking a couple tough falls, but that Garrett Wallow looks like the experienced linebacker out there, the plays that he's made, and done a good job of bottling up Taylor Porter so far.
The TCU defense don't get you, gravity will. And those attempts by Porter to hurdle over defenders tonight. 3rd down and 7 for the Golden Lions. Stepping back to throw is Shannon Patrick, and incomplete. And just draped over Ballard was Keon Stewart, the freshman, who's playing because of an injury for Julius Lewis, and starting and playing very well.
He's on the outside here, and you can't really make a play any better than that. First of all, he comes around the outside of the receiver, so not to interfere. Puts the hand in the passing lane. I mean, it's just for a freshman to have that kind of skill already, I think TCU is going to be in pretty good shape at the corner position for a number of years to come.
He comes from the tremendous program at Galena Park North Shore, who won the 6A title last year on a Hail Mary at the end of the game, and what a bunt that was.
You know, that
71 yards.
That looked like the punt from the new Cleveland Brown punter, Jamie Gillen, who just made the Browns yesterday from Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
The Scottish Hammer.
The greatest nickname I've heard all year.
From Inverness, Scotland, to Pine-Bluff, Arkansas, to Cleveland, Ohio, and now Miles Piney's got to replace Jamie Gillen. And look at that boomer.
Yeah, and that's just how Jamie did it when he was here.
And we talked to Miles for a little bit before the game. We had a delightful conversation for a couple of minutes with Miles.
Well, I mean, you get an Australian accent, first of all, an authentic Australian accent.
It's a delightful conversation at that point.
I mean, it was just a walkabout down under.
He let that one go, man.
Oof, that was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, that one was not shot out of a cannon and passed by Duggan, by the way.
There is this punting academy that's going on in Australia, though. It is remarkable how many punters that were rugby players down in Australia have now become college and NFL punters.
And Aussie football, Australian rules football as well.
Rules, yeah. Look at look at what was that, rock, scissors, paper?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah. I think he just won. Not only a 71-yard punt, but I think he played rock, scissors.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 71, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Zion Farmer is the player guilty of the personal foul infraction.
All right. Max Duggan out there for the start to fourth quarter. See if he can follow up. They're going to throw him out of the game, huh?
He's at least going out. I don't know if he's been ejected, but
he say he was, but
from the 35, an underneath throw to Shewo Olanolua. And how about the open field tackle?
Yeah.
Paul Reeves again.
And he's played that position, that nickel position, really well tonight. That's a big man to tackle in the open field. If he gets the head of steam going, he could truck a lot of people.
5 tackles tonight for Paul Reeves.
But see, you got to have a tackling agenda coming into the game. You got to go low on Shewu, and that's what he's done a couple times to take him off his feet.
That was a loss of 7 yards. 5 of those tackles for Paul Reeves tonight. 2 of the 5 have been tackles for loss. To throw the ball, Duggan. And it's caught, and then right as he catches it, as he lands, Olanolua is taken down again.
That's the freshman, Monroe Beard. How about that tackle in the open field? 2 open field tackles in a row. Monroe Beard, they're only rushing 3. They dropped 8. Tackle to catch.
He's from Notre Dame High School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Monroe Beard with the tackle of Olanolua. 3rd and 18 for TCU. Throwing and caught by Tevalence Hunt. And Hunt able to turn upfield. He was shy of the sticks when he did, but over the 45 for a first down by a yard.
Well, Duggan did a great job of just keeping his boys, staying in the pocket here. They only rush 2. They bring 2 late. That's good. That's a good snag in the open field that time by Tevalence Hunt.
And a 3rd and 18 converted. 3rd and 18, and they pick up 19 on the pass to Tevalence Hunt. Duggan rolling. Oh, the ball slipped out as he tried to throw it.
That's a loose ball.
And it is on the ground and judged to be out of bounds, it would appear.
Well, that would be a fumble. So it should be a loss of yardage, and it is.
The ruling on the field is a fumble out of bounds. The ball was placed at the spot where the ball went out of bounds.
I don't think he has his hands on the laces. The hands aren't on the laces, and that's part of the problem. See, his hand isn't on the laces. Usually the right hand, the fingertips are on the laces. He had his hand on the middle of the football, and that's why it slipped out.
Right, that is the 6th fumble tonight by TCU.
They had a problem with the turnovers last year, Mark.
-5 on the season. And it took their performance late in the year to lift that up to that level.
Well, Gary Patterson told us that stat yesterday, Mark. They were 3-5. They were -12, the turnover ratio. They went 4-1 down the stretch. They were +8. He said it comes down to taking care of the football. You'll have a reel of every ball that's been turned loose for whatever reason, whether it's the quarterback slipping out of his hands or the returner fumbling it, the receiver getting it stripped. He'll have a reel, and he'll show you why. He'll show his team why the ball's coming loose.
Third and 6. They just converted a 3rd and 18, but 3rd and 6 won't be converted because the pass bounces in well short of the intended receiver, Darius Davis. 11 minutes to play. TCU leads the game by 22 points, but their drive stalls out at midfield, and Jordy Sandy is punting for the 3rd time tonight. 2 touchdowns on drives engineered by Max Duggan and 5 Jonathan Song field goals tonight. Tyron Ralph is back for Pine-Bluff, and he won't be in the zip code of that punt. Shanked off out of bounds, and it will be Arkansas Pine-Bluff ball when we return with 10:53 left. In the Big 12 this year, there are 4 new head coaches. Les Miles, the Mad Hatter, is back. He's at Kansas with the Jayhawks. Chris Kleiman from powerhouse North Dakota State to Kansas State. Texas Tech will be there next week, Brian.
Yep.
Matt Wells from Utah State is in Lubbock now, and Neil Brown moved from Troy to West Virginia.
Yeah, and look at this. They all won today.
Kansas with a win over FCS Indiana State, Sycamores, and West Virginia beat James Madison. Now, bear in mind that's a 7-point win, but the Dukes were FCS national champions 2 years ago. I mean, they were the only one to break the stranglehold that Chris Kleiman and North Dakota State had on that FCS title.
Oh, he had a run. He had a run going. And you see the digital change now. I mean, everything is digital. Mark's the digital era.
2019, my friend.
I'm getting used to it.
Keyshawn Williams running the ball for Arkansas. Pine-Bluff fights out of one tackle in the backfield, but nowhere else to go after escaping the first tackle.
Yeah, see how fast that is?
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know this. I didn't know that it's gone high-tech to the chain crews now. I look up and all of a sudden, I mean, it just changed so fast. No human error anymore.
Brian, as you look at that list of new head coaches in the Big 12, does anything to you stand out about one or two of those particular situations?
Less coming to Kansas. I mean, they've been struggling, as we know, for a long time to put a program back. You know, it's been a long time since, you know, the Orange Bowl in 2007. So we'll see what Les can do there. You know, recruiting has always been an issue, and certainly he's got pipelines all over the Southeast Conference. We'll see what he can do and how quickly he can turn that around. Booker Williams didn't play today. He's been suspended. He's their best player. I'm sure they'll look a lot better offensively when he gets back in the lineup.
The end came after the second tenure of Bill Snyder at Kansas State. Cliff Kingsbury, of course, moved on from Texas Tech at the time to be USC offensive coordinator after he was let go, but now the head coach of the Cardinals.
Well, we'll all be watching, and all these coaches in the Big 12 will be watching how Cliff does.
And under pressure is Skylar Perry, and he stepped up in the pocket on 3rd and long and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Well, Ross Blacklock was there.
Yeah. I mean, you put Ross out there long enough, he's going to get there. I mean, just his, here he is right there moving. Just power. He gets flushed, and he just stays after the play. But him and Bethley inside, I'm surprised they're still in the game in the fourth quarter, but everybody needs to get in condition, especially if Blacklock missed the entire season a year ago.
The last punt by Miles Piney was 71 yards. This is not going to be 71, but it's a fumbled punt again by Jalen Rager. His second one, and TCU's 7th fumble tonight. This one has been retained possession-wise for TCU.
Look, he can't even open his eyes. It's like a nightmare. He's given the fair catch signal, and he's not looking it in. He's not looking the ball all the way in the way that he's been trained to do.
And he's fortunate that Hadari Caesar was there on special teams to fall on the ball.
I mean, he might not fumble another punt the rest of the season, but tonight he won't sleep. He'll think about each one of those and a couple of drop passes, and he'll want to put this one behind him pretty fast.
Did catch a 37-yard touchdown tonight. Staying on his feet. That's a tough run by Shewu Olanalua for the 45 of Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
Well, this is when you want to find out the conditioning level of Pine-Bluff and the toughness late in the fourth quarter here. They've been on the field a lot. They've made a lot of good plays, a lot of stops. But how much gas is left in the proverbial tank here in this fourth quarter with a big 240-pound back coming right at you?
Olanalua running, and a first down. Second down and 2, and surges down to the 40. Joshua Wallace, defensive lineman, brings him down, but a first down to the Arkansas Pine-Bluff 39 officially.
Got the starting offensive line still in there. Lucas Niang right there, 77, the right tackle. Bulasami, the right guard. Born in Africa, went to Denton Ryan High School, a powerhouse up in North Texas.
Corey McMillan at center, Cordell Awagwu at left guard, and beating out Anthony McKinney at left tackle is sophomore Quazell White from Tacoma, Washington. Duggan throws, caught to Valence Hunt, turns inside after the catch, and then is spun down close to the 20 by Xavier Mitchell.
Well, they've got a a bunch of young receivers, and they all can run. I mean, they got 9 or 10 guys you can line up out there, all of them capable of making a play. He had 4 catches a year ago, but you can see that he's going to step it up this year, especially with this Duggan throwing the ball. I mean, he's putting the ball right on the money.
3 grabs, 61 yards for Valence Hunt. Now Alanalua. Inside the 20-yard line, he goes down. And for more on Max Duggan, here's Leslie.
Well, guys, with the new redshirt rule they implemented a couple of years ago, you know, they can play 4 games and still redshirt. But that is not the plan. They plan to play. Max Duggan said he's the future. And they feel like he already had a redshirt year because he came in January. They say that's a huge difference. You know, you guys were talking about how he came to a TCU practice. They like to see how they handle it. I asked Max before the game what he liked about it. He said the intensity of it. Sounds just like a Gary Patterson guy. And in fact, speaking of intensity, just had to let you guys know, I noticed this at halftime and then, of course, in the third quarter as well. We're only in the first game of the season. Gary Patterson doesn't have a voice anymore.
Well, he's an emotional guy on the sideline, and we were talking with him about that yesterday, and you know, people see that, and we saw him, you know, get on Jalen Reagor, understandably so, after the punt. But what Gary said yesterday is, I'm an emotional guy, and don't watch the delivery, listen for the message.
Write that down.
Yes.
It's a good soundbite.
Don't watch the delivery, listen for the message. Right now, though, watch Max Duggan stand in the pocket and rifle it.
I tell you, when he throws the ball, and everybody that's still here in the stadium, like, just kind of took their breath away.
Yeah, you hear that?
Fired. He threw a fastball. He saw him late.
Darius Davis was the intended receiver.
He threw it too hot, but protection was great. Just a 3-man rush. Man, he steps into the ball. It does come out fast.
Jonathan Song has made 5 field goals tonight, but this time Griffin Kell will attempt from 35 yards out. 32-7 on TCU's 6th field goal of the game, and it comes with 6:46 left to play. Horned Frogs 32, Golden Lions 7.
The World Poker Tour on Fox Sports Networks.
Let's take a look at the Whataburger All Access update. Quarterback Alex Delton, who started for TCU tonight for the first time.
Yeah, it's only a 7th start in his 5 years of college football. But this was a couple of the runs there in the second half where he, you know, he's got a great ability. Once he tucks that ball away, he's a runner. He's not looking to throw it. And this was, I think, the first carry of the second half. Just put him in position here to score in that first run. But that's what he's always been known for. You know, he's been a better runner than a thrower. He proved that tonight. But he's also a great leader with character. And, you know, I mean, he won the quarterback competition. But I think they're going to play both here for a while.
Keyshawn Williams running on the kickoff. And up to the 15-yard line.
Excellent special teams by the coverage unit. But there's Alex Delton, probably done for the night. Feels pretty good about his first game as a Horned Frog. 2 weeks to get ready for Purdue. Put this one to bed later tonight or tomorrow. Watch the film, learn from it. Get ready for the Boilermakers. And the student section. And the band. I mean, it's a long season for everybody. The spirit, undeniable.
Play clock down to 3 seconds. Skylar Perry's in at quarterback for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. And there's a running play on first down as we have a college football game break with Aaron Hardigan.
Mark, Auburn and Oregon went down to the wire with just seconds to play. It's true freshman Bo Nix going deep and introducing himself to the college football world as Auburn was down for the entire game, but the Tigers would go on to defeat Oregon 27-21.
Wow. Right, that game right at AT&T Stadium, just down the road from us. Game day was downtown Fort Worth.
Omar Allen ran the ball on first down for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, and then quarterback keeper by Skylar Perry on second down, and hit by Garrett Wallow, who's had a very, very busy night on defense for TCU.
I'll bet he's close to double digits, if not double digits at tackles tonight.
That's number 13.
There you go. He'll take that tonight. Just a junior.
From John Curtis High School. What a program in New Orleans.
Yeah, there's certain programs in the country, as soon as you hear the name, John Curtis, Bishop Gorman, you just know Miami Central. There are just certain programs around the country. Long Beach Poly. You just know that they've been well-trained. There is a anticipation of success.
Pine-Bluff has called their second time out of the half.
All right.
5:15 to go.
32nd timeout.
On the second timeout of the second half called by Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
There has been some confusion about personnel and groupings tonight for the head coach, Cedric Thomas, in his second year.
Came back to where he played college football and told us this week he came back to the place that saved his life. He said when he got there back in the late 90s, he had some baggage and a selfish mentality and didn't understand what a college education would mean. But he told us, Brian, that he was exposed to faith and the great characteristics of football, like discipline and hard work. All of a sudden, one day, an advisor said, hey, you need to go get your cap and gown.
Yeah,
I was
graduate.
First person in his family to graduate, and now his son and daughter talk about going to college, Brian.
You know, it's a great thing. And when he said that, the first person in his family, he never had any guidance about college education. And I think that's true of a lot of kids. You know, and somebody breaks through and it can be done and sets a great example. I mean, he's proud. He's got 40 kids this year that are carrying a 3.0 grade point average or higher. And he said it starts in the classroom. You know, you got to earn the right to have recess.
He did say that.
Yeah.
That is not a Baldyism. It might end up on Baldy breakdowns at one point in time in the future, but no, that's what he said this week. You have to earn the right to have recess. And you got to do things right if you want the football gods to take care of you. They lost 4 games by a touchdown or less last year for an example of not doing things right. The football gods not being fair to them.
Lost to Grambling in overtime, lost to Mississippi Valley State in double overtime. But the little things, and they're having a little discussion over here in the offense in this third down. See if they can convert this here. Just hang on to the ball.
Brian, do you think TCU will be happy about an off week after this first game tonight as they get ready for Purdue on the 14th?
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, Gary Patterson is going to prepare his team for Pine-Bluff, the same as Purdue, the same for Oklahoma. It's the same preparation. There is an expectation. There is a work ethic. He was getting on the freshmen last night in the video test about you're going to get your rest on Thursday nights. I might have to come by and check curfew. Make sure you're in the room at 10:30 at night.
Bed check on Thursdays.
Bed check.
That's the upcoming schedule. And you want to go one game farther than the 5 that you see on the screen. That will be when Texas visits Aaron G. Carter Stadium on October the 26th. Games for TCU. They've got to go on the road in November, by the way, to Oklahoma on November 23rd. Baylor, of course, their biggest rival, will come to Fort Worth on November the 9th.
Close win against Baylor a year ago. Late touchdown by Jalen Rager to win that game.
Part of that run that picked themselves up off the mat and got them to a bowl game by the end of the year and won the Cheez-It Bowl against Cal. After the timeout, 3rd and 7, incomplete pass.
He missed a wide-open Deshaun Lawrence down the middle of the field. Maybe he just had obstructed view, but 88 was running free, and he missed him on the play.
A little pressure coming from O'Shawn Mathis.
O'Shawn Mathis is one of those guys you just look at as a redshirt freshman. You go, boy, 2 years from now, with a whole bunch of experience behind him and a whole bunch of weight rooms and training tables, he's going to be the guy we're going to talk about in the NFL.
He certainly looks like the real deal Holyfield. That is for sure. Rager, fair catch at the 40-yard line with 5:02 to play in the game. TCU 32, Arkansas Pine-Bluff 7. We're about to see TCU true freshman running back Darwin Barlow on the field. His last time on the football field was at AT&T Stadium. Here are highlights from Newton defeating Canadian in the 3A Division II Texas State Championship game, the second straight title for Darwin Barlow, who was the MVP of that game.
Mark, he averaged 13.4 yards a carry last year. Is that good?
I believe it is. I mean, if you like 13.4 yards of pass reception is good.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I can't see it. I can't wait to see his first carry here tonight.
Well, let's see if it's about to happen. It is from the 40-yard line of TCU. And he didn't get to 13, but he gained 6.
Mm-hmm. Right up the middle. All power. Class 3A, player of the year. And that's no joke in the state of Texas. 2 big-time recruits. Foster, the other running back.
And Demarque Foster from Wichita Falls, Hershey.
And you know a lot about Wichita Falls high school football, Mark. They say that he broke all the records up there.
Yeah, Wichita Falls High and Wichita Falls Rider and Hershey have a lot of history in the state of Texas, and he's the leading rusher in Wichita Falls high school history. All of the high schools in Wichita Falls, I'm saying.
He got bottled up that time. Here's Colby Watts at the bottom of that pile.
We have not seen Demarque Foster. We are seeing freshman running back Darwin Barlow right now. Again, who at Newton last year had 39 touchdowns and over 2,100 rushing yards. And he ran for 6 on first down, and his second down run was stopped at the line of scrimmage. But there's a penalty, which is...
Personal foul, defense, number 97. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Tyler Smith. I didn't see what happened.
The game clock to 4:17, 4:17. Thank you.
They have been pretty good tonight with just, there he is right here. He comes in late, I guess. Oh, yeah, just a late shove. Yeah. Okay. Colton Altman, backup center in there right now.
And that's he was on the receiving end of that late shove. Yeah. Duggan still at quarterback, and for the 3rd straight time, he's handing off to Darwin Barlow. A first down and 10 run to near the 30. I'll put him at the 32 officially.
2 freshmen back there handling the football for the Horned Frogs in the future. Max Duggan and Darwin Barlow.
Yeah, 2 immensely talented freshmen with very promising futures.
Guys that were heavily recruited by teams all over the country. Decided to come here to play their college football. And you've seen that around the country. Just freshmen that are ready to play. Coming from big-time programs in high school where they're playing 14, 15, 16 games in high school right now. Getting a lot of, against good competition.
Barlow runs it again. If you want to learn a little bit more about a mentor for Darwin Barlow, I would say get on Twitter and search the name W.T. Johnston. He passed away this past offseason, W.T. Johnston, but he was the longtime coach at Newton and battled through a rare lung disease to continue to coach his team through last season and another state championship. An incredibly inspirational story, and Darwin Barlow had that as a mentor for his high school football coach.
So many of those around the country.
Barlow runs the ball again inside the 25 to the 24-yard line as we approach 2.5 minutes left. And TCU's headed toward an 18th straight win and a home opener.
Now this is just an inside zone. And every run so far has been right up the middle, right between the tackles. Got a bunch of backup offensive linemen in there right now getting a chance to play, along with Barlow.
Steady diet of the freshman from Newton. Barlow runs out of the tackle. First down, still on his feet inside the 10. It will be first and goal.
Well, that's one tackle he just broke to get loose. Kind of what he did in high school right there. When just watching that play, just the power. They do that tackle. Some fresh legs. Fresh, powerful legs. I like how he keeps his eyes up, though. You can see he's got vision. I think he's hungry for the end zone.
And as a matter of fact, offensive coordinator Sonny Cumbie, the two characteristics he spoke to us about when he was asked about Barlow yesterday, feet and vision. As a matter, you just brought up vision. His inside run reaches the 8, bringing up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, somebody from
Pine-Bluff, number 90, must leave for one play, lost the helmet.
Christopher Kilpatrick will go out. Those numbers you see on the screen for Barlow have all come on this drive.
Well, Barlow wants to score, and Pine-Bluff wants to stop from scoring. We got 1:15 and counting, under a minute now.
Second and goal at the 8. Darwin Barlow, first of many touchdowns for Barlow here in Fort Worth, Texas.
You can feel it. He showed some special qualities there in those last 2 runs. And right through some arm tackles. Good cut. There's the power. And the head's always up. And they've got a stable of backs. We did not see Foster tonight. They've got a stable of backs. It'll be interesting to see these freshmen, how they compete for playing time as the season goes on.
Griffin Kell with the extra points. 39-7 with 48 seconds remaining in tonight's game at Amon G. Carter Stadium. You'll see a lot of them in the years ahead. Number 24, Darwin Barlow for the TCU Horned Frogs, his first collegiate touchdown.
Get your tickets now at gofrogs.com.
TCU 39-7 in the last minute of the game. They lead Arkansas Pine-Bluff. One of the 3 touchdowns tonight is the Bass Pro and Cabela's catch of the day. It's Jalen Rager from Max Duggan.
Just a post. Rager got his speed, got behind the defense right here, man-to-man. And Duggan throws his first collegiate touchdown pass. They got a couple freshmen here. They're going to be a big part of this program and success. You know, you mentioned earlier today, Mark, that Gary Patterson said if we're going to be a good team, if we're going to have a bounce back here, 8 or 10 guys that nobody's sort of forecasting right now are going to have to step up and have great years. We're seeing maybe some of these freshmen might be those players.
Well, that was a pretty pass that Duggan put into the hands of Rager for a 37-yard touchdown.
Of course, you can fair catch these kickoffs and take the ball at the 25-yard line.
Five catches, 71 yards, 1 touchdown tonight for Jalen Rager.
Yeah, 9 touchdowns a year ago. 11 total, a couple punt returns for touchdowns. In his game, sitting next to him, getting back on the field. It probably feels pretty good for that senior to get back active. And there's LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew.
We went from one number 1 to another one. Travius Hodges Tomlinson. That is LT's nephew and went to the same high school, Waco Midway. Or I'm sorry, different high school in Waco. LaDainian went to Waco University. Hodges Tomlinson went to Waco Midway.
And he said he's not a running back. LT's the running back. He's a corner, returner. Not looking to challenge his uncle in any of those departments. But that name is synonymous with Waco, TCU, and football greatness. Seeing the freshman get his time on the field here tonight.
This be the last play from scrimmage. Quarterback running the ball, Taylor Holston into the game here at the tail end for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. And that will do it on a night when TCU ties a school record with 6 made field goals. They get 3 touchdowns as well, and they've won their 18th straight home opener. The final score tonight at Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas, TCU 1-0 after a 39-7 win over Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
Gary gets his 168th win, I think, in his 19 seasons. They're expected to win this game. But, you know, I think he got challenged. Pine-Bluff came here. There's Jalen Stewart right there, the defensive end. They know about this program. It was a big deal to come play a big Division I opponent like this, a Big 12 opponent. And I think that the Golden Lions can take that bus ride back to Pine-Bluff, Arkansas, feel pretty good about their effort and the way that they competed tonight. Touchdown throw from that man, Shannon Patrick. Pretty good job there. Just putting that touchdown up, forcing a bunch of fumbles tonight. But TCU's defense was outstanding. Interception there early in the game. Forced fumble. Duggan with the touchdown.
And it's a win tonight for TCU. For our crew at Amon G. Carter Stadium, Brian Baldinger and Leslie McCaslin, I'm Mark Bonneville. Tonight's final score, TCU opens the season 1-0 with a 39-7 win over Arkansas Pine-Bluff. Good night from Fort Worth, Texas.